Hey guys, so Chowdeck is Africa's leading on-demand food, grocery, and pharmaceutical delivery service with operations spanning multiple cities in Nigeria, from Lagos, Ibadan, Edo, Ogun, Port Harcourt, Abuja, and many more. Chowdeck is helping thousands of Nigerians monthly to get their food, medicine, and groceries delivered with ease, elevating long queues and waiting times. Founded in 2021 by Femi Aluko, Olumide and Lanre Yusuf, it is definitely one of Africa's leading brands. In this latest episode of Founders Connect and the first of a new format that we're trying, I'm currently in Chowdeck's HQ in Lagos, Nigeria, to speak with Femi and some of his leadership team and some of his riders to learn about all of the thinking and operations that goes to building such a brand that is fast growing and very impactful in the Nigerian tech space. So stay with me and make sure that you watch this episode to the end. Let's go.
My name is Femi. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chowdeck. I mean, I grew up in Lagos, like a proper Lagos child, if that makes sense.
Where in Lagos did you grow up?
I grew up in three places, but the major place I spent most of my teenage life was somewhere they call Akeson. That's like Igondo. Ali Mosho, that's that Axisha. Yeah, it's a proper ghetto. I don't know if it was across Nigeria or Lagos at the time, but I observed there's they call low current. The light is very low. I observed that. Yeah. So I observed that while growing up, and then my family was not really well-to-do family. You know what I mean? I was a child. You always chase for school fees. Or think about the child that is always causing trouble. That the other don't have money, always causing trouble. I was that kind of child. Yeah, but I was also very religious.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have an elder brother and a younger sister. Yeah, my elder brother went to boarding school, so I was literally the one that spent most of the time in the house. Growing up in my secondary school specifically, I was a very religious guy. I attended Redeem, and I was teens president, I was first teens vice president and teens president. I was the proper teenage guy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Are you still very religious?
I mean, Chowdeck would make everyone religious, to be honest. Yeah, because the kind of miracles we see every day in Chowdeck, you just cannot afford to not believe in God. There's even a memory I have while I was growing up, and that's why when I think about how, because sometimes people ask me how long have you been an entrepreneur? Chowdeck is supposed to be my first serious business.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of small things in the past, but nothing as serious as Chowdeck. But when I was young, that was around 12, 13, we wanted to do a teens program, and then they asked, we needed money, but I didn't even know how much we needed. I was thinking that if I can get enough money, I would just plan the program. So I wrote a letter, I gave it to the men in the church. It was fun, sure. Yeah, fundraising. And then the first man gave me 10,000 naira. I can't forget. And then I ran around the church. I went to my teacher, my children's teacher, see how much we've raised. And then cumulatively we raised 17.5. And then we started planning what we wanted to do. You know, as a kid, you think that 75 is a lot of money. So I was I'm going to buy cow, I'm going to buy goat. I just had this big plan that we're going to do this grand program. And then we went to the market, and we just saw the price of cow and goat, and shit, we need to come back and re-strategize. I think that was my first budgeting, having to do something on a budget, and I think we did donuts and all. But I had a lot of multiple experiences like that in church. In school, I was also very active in school. I was very good with maths, so I was always going for all this maths competition. I won some, I lost some, but I was really, really active as a child before I go into university, where I started.
Where did you go to?
Ife, OAU.
Okay.
And I think OAU changed a lot of things in my own life, because I think OAU was the first time I had to genuinely compete. All through before OAU, competition was non-existent. I would literally be the first effortlessly, but Ife was the first time that I saw people that were I could say were actually much better than me. So it kind of humbled me, and just started asking, meeting people, talking to people, and that's when I also started writing code too. Because code in Ife, we have an active dev community. There's a lot of my seniors. There are probably a lot of them that you know on Twitter that went to Ife, and that just helped me go into software development. Because I had gone into that's electrical. I studied electrical engineering.
Yeah.
I got into electrical engineering thinking I was going to solve the power problem
of
Nigeria. Yeah, because I'd been obsessed with that problem for a long time. And even though I wanted to read mathematics, my math teacher told me that you can't read maths. That your brain is you the way you think about problems, you'll be a better engineer. And then we had gone through the entire engineering thing to think about what should I study. So I eventually studied we actually started for electrical engineering, because he actually asked me to study computer engineering. I said no, because I thought computer engineering were people that used to repair laptops,
Computers.
computers in computer village. I know, like growing up, there were these people that like you would like they're always like knowing how to install games,
Yes.
like knowing how to play with your internet. So I used to do those things. I was like, I already know computer engineering. Like there's nothing serious here. So when I first saw someone that built an app in university, that just like blew my mind. I can like literally like do something like this, and I went to meet him. And even the way I started coding was very funny because I went to meet him and he asked me to fast for 7 days.
Fast.
Yes, for 7 days. But apparently he was just joking.
But you did it.
But yeah, I fasted for 2 days. And then I went to him and told him I can't wait for the 7 days. That like my mind is on this thing. Like I really want to write code. And he was like, well, did I really fast for 2 days? I was like, yeah. It was like he's joking that like how will I fast? Blah blah. So I think that also like sent a message to him that like I wasn't fucking around. Yeah. So he gave me a bunch of books like I read, and then I just started like writing code, doing competitions in university. Before I finished like university, and then I finished university. Yeah, I got my first. I served in Lagos. I finished as like the best graduating student in telecoms in my class. So everyone had thought that even my mom, because again like we were not very rich. So yeah, the solution to all our problems, like go and work for NTA, because my PPA, that's my NYS PPA was actually NTA.
Right.
So my mom had thought that like, yeah, this guy is going to like NTA was the solution to all
all
our
the way.
problems. Yeah, and I was like, I can't work for NTA. That I'm more exposed than NTA now. Like I've seen dollars, because then you win competitions, they give you money in dollars. Yeah, I've seen dollars, and like NTA's like money is not going to. I was like, so it was a huge, but she didn't understand it. But I mean, she had seen me make multiple decisions like that in the past, and she's like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing here. And then yeah, I didn't work for NTA. I worked for a dev shop called Shopee. I worked for them for like I don't know a year. That's what I served before I joined Paystack. And then once I finished
So Paystack was the first job post you service.
Yes.
How did you get the Paystack job?
I mean, I applied.
There's this friendship story. So I forgot maybe it was a...
Yeah. So the guys that we worked together at Shopee, like, so Shopee was beginning to owe us salary. And then there's a guy called, Ridwan from Lemfire.
Yeah.
So he used to work with us at Shopee. Ridwan first left to further with. Then this guy, his name is Ibube. He works at Amazon now. He just sent me the link, that like guy. I applied to Paystack, and I saw the Paystack application. I was like, okay. So I applied to 3 companies actually, Paystack and 2 other companies. I won't mention their names. Yeah, because like the other companies, like I got the offer, but like I rejected it. Because I was really waiting for Paystack, but Paystack didn't respond on time.
So that's what you really wanted?
Yeah, I wanted Paystack, yeah. Because of, I think the interview I had with Paystack, before I went for the 3 interviews, I wasn't sure where I wanted to work, because they're actually very good. They're all 3 good companies now. So Paystack interview, I had it with like Loknan, there's a babe at Paystack, Onome, and Ezra. Ezra was the last interview. But like the engagement, the collaboration, the kind of questions I was asked, the quality of thought, like in that interview, like I left that interview feeling strong that like even if I got the job, I didn't get the job. Like I really like enjoyed something. There was something for me to learn, something for me to read, and I even had it in mind that I was going to like buzz like Ezra after and like just talk to him after, because like he's a very solid guy. So after that interview, because the first 2, it was 3 sessions. The first 2 sessions was quite easy for me, but that one was hard, because like Ezra was asking something I had not done before. So I had to think about it like from first principles. So I thought that I'd blown the interview, like I wasn't going to enter, because like even me, I wasn't sure of like my approach to the problem. But apparently that's what Ezra liked, because at that time Paystack was passing through a lot of problems that they were experiencing for the first time, and then they just needed someone that like could pick up a problem like from and Ezra that's what he was looking for. And it was like, so even in the interview, I don't know, transcript or whatever they call it, Ezra was like recommend like this guy is my strongest candidate, like I need this guy like on the team. That's how I literally got into Paystack.
What is the most important lesson you learned from your time at Paystack?
I don't know how to phrase it, but maybe it's hard work. I don't know, just build with kind people, to be honest. Like build with kind people, because like the thing is hard. It's tough. Things would get very heated. People you trust. Like it is not always as rosy as it looks like from the outside. So there are going to be like heated moments, but like in those moments, you know that like the people you are working with, like this is not malicious. This is not. No one is angry with you. No one is like. No one doesn't think less of your work. Like it's just how people respond to the new things that they face in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that like just build with kind people. Like and something I also optimized for in the early days of Chowdeck. Like you could be very excellent, but if you have a shitty attitude, like I can't work with you, because like I know that like we are all trying to figure this thing out. We are going to look stupid a lot of times. Like no one should have to look stupid for trying to figure out like something that they haven't done before. Like it's not like cumulatively, none of us has had to do logistics before in Nigeria. So we would have to learn new lessons. We have to learn new things from time to time. I think just build with kind people. I think that's like something I picked up from like my time at Paystack.
So tell me about the idea for how Chowdeck came about and how you picked your co-founders.
At Paystack, like towards the end of like my time at Paystack, after the acquisition, I needed to go to Dubai to like hire a lot of engineers, and that was my first time outside of Nigeria, outside of Africa. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd traveled to like Ghana, Ethiopia, but like I'd not gone out of Africa before. So imagine like this 25-year-old boy so excited to go and travel to Dubai to just like, I don't know, for the first time in his life. Yeah. And then that was then you have to do a COVID test before you travel.
That was 2020 or
2020, yeah. So 29, on the 29th, I took a COVID test. Hoping that, like, I mean, COVID doesn't happen to me. Like, it's not me that will catch COVID at the time, yeah. And then 31st, my result comes out positive. I saw it like 8:57, and I was like, what? Like, is this literally how my travel? Like, I thought of so many things that like, God, how can I even just travel like without like this thing here? So 8:57, the result came out. I tried to order for food, and when I processed my thoughts, I tried to order for food around past 9 just to like stock up, and then everyone was closed. I buzzed like all the apps that were available at the time, like no one was delivering at the time. All these Instagram vendors, nobody was delivering. It's 31st, for Christ's sake. People are going to church for 31st night. I was like, okay, I'll wait till the next day. And the next day, January 1, like everybody was in the public holiday. They can't deliver food. Even the apps that were open at the time, like very limited options. I couldn't get what I wanted. And it felt very, very off that like, why would food is like a major
necessity.
Yeah, no one can do it for me. And then Tomilola was my neighbor. Tomilola is our head of people. She was my neighbor and she stayed on top of, like, I was on the second floor, she was on the third floor. So she had known that like I had COVID. And then she was just like, sorry, yeah. That entire COVID period, I just spent it in my house. She would go buy food for me, like keep it in front of my door and then knock. So, but like the idea that was like once I heard it, so I was always looking forward to that knock. So that entire 2 weeks of COVID, like I was like, that's when Clubhouse was popular. I was always on Clubhouse and waiting for Tomilola's knock. Yeah. After COVID, I had that experience in my mind, like, yeah, like I've seen industries move in Paystack, like the betting industry, the savings industry, the lending industry. But I never really thought that like logistics was a problem that needed to be looked into until that moment. And then I traveled to Dubai. The first time I ordered for food in Dubai. And mind you, in Nigeria, when I ordered for food, like it was standard that my food would get to me like an hour plus. Sometimes even gets to me the next day if I order from all these IG vendors. And that felt like the standard way to order for food because I've not seen what like good life looks like. Yeah. So when I got to Dubai, I downloaded Zomato. I ordered the first time. It came in 60 minutes. I'm like, what? 60 minutes for food? Like it blew my mind. And I kept ordering. Sometimes I would just order. I would even order like 3 different things at the same time from 3 different restaurants. Like order water, order this thing, and everything will come like very quickly. I was like, these guys have figured this thing out. And I will not start ordering like different times of the day to just test. Okay, maybe I ordered in the morning. They don't have traffic. Okay, let me order by 12, and it still comes fast. The highest delivery time I got there was like 43 minutes. And that 43 minutes, they gave me credits back in my wallet for like delivering like late. And that just blew my mind. I'm like, I'm going to do this thing in Nigeria. I was so excited about it. Like, even when I was hiring engineers, the question I was asking them was around like, how do you build a system? Like, I was just so obsessed about like food delivery at the time. And then I came back to Lagos. I buzzed Olumide, that's my CTO. They're like, because in Paystack, like Olumide and I were like the dream team. Like I was doing backend, he was doing front end. So I was backend principal engineer, he was front end principal engineer. Most of the products we built at Paystack, we built them together. That's like GTB, USSD, QR code, like Payment Bank. We built a bunch of things together at Paystack. So, and he was always complimenting me, cause like he's also like maybe not much. He's older than me, so I think he has seen things that I've not seen. Yeah. So sometimes like
it's a good balance.
Exactly. When I came back, he was talking. I shared the food delivery thing. Like it was like yes, like him too. He has been thinking about logistics for a while. That like after payments, like I think that logistics is the next big thing. That guy, let's do it. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So we started asking questions. So that's how I became a co-founder. And then we now got a designer. We wanted to get a designer to help us design the interface. Lanre is traditionally a designer. Yeah. So we got Lanre, and Lanre, I've known Lanre from school. Like he's been my friend from school. Like in school, I used to stay outside campus. Lanre stays in campus. Lanre, he had so many contracts. When I mean so many contracts, Lanre was the guy that used to website. No supposed to build a website. I want to build a website. I want to build a bar for dog. Lanre was the guy that used to go to meet to build all of those things. Yeah. So Lanre was always building. But Lanre was building like actual solutions for people. Me, I was just doing like programming competitions, like just learning how to code and all those things. We bonded a lot because we talked for long hours about like this thing, and that's how I knew him. And he's a stand-up guy. Do you get like? So we wanted to get a designer. I was like, the designer I know in my life that can come through for us is Lanre. So I now told Lanre that like Lanre, I'm building food delivery, blah blah. But Lanre and I had been beaten in the past because we had joined companies where this company like I can't pay you, but I can give you equity. Do you get? So they will give you like 30% equity of zero because you just build and then nothing will come out here. So we had done a lot of those gigs before in the past. So when I told Lanre that like, this is what you're building, Lanre was like, yes, now you know the drill now. You're going to pay whether you're giving me equity or not. Yeah. So Lanre's charge was 250K. So I gave him 150K like front payment. That like this is the payment for the UI.
Yeah, if I recall clearly, we were at a friend's birthday party, and he just like asked me if I'm open to start. I mean, he just told me about it's looking into starting a food delivery business. I'm like, oh, awesome. And knowing Femi, I know that Femi is someone that is a sure guy. So anything he puts in my story, it like go to the end. Let's do it.
And then after one week, Lanre came back and was like, it's not that he wants to do this thing with me fully. And okay, this is how to like. I like it to like. I've been thinking, but I was afraid to ask you because like I know we have shared history with like working for people that like has beaten us like in the past and like yeah. So he was like like so that's how he became like my third co-founder. And I was really happy then because like I know the energy he brings to something if he wants to do something like So I was like I have like a proper team now, like this we are unstoppable.
At what point did you guys know that we're actually building something for real, like, and then you're like, I'm quitting my job or going full time on this? What was that turning point?
Before January 2022, like I don't know, I got investments from like people before then, but that was still I was still like not very sure as to
so you
like
got investment but you're not sure.
I was not sure if I was going to do it full time, cause like or maybe I knew I was going to do it full time, but I didn't know when I was going to like do it like full time. Yeah.
So the people who gave you money knew that you were still thinking when it was going to be.
5 people gave me money. 4 of them were in Paystack.
Who are they?
So it was a win-win for them. Like So Ezra was the person that wrote my first check. Then there's the head of product. Her name is Khadija. She wrote my second check. Then 2 principal engineers. One is Loknan and one is Loknan and Drew. Like 2 of them wrote like my first check, and then the final person was my friend from university. He's the CTO of Nobis. His name is Tope. Yeah. So the 5 of them wrote me my first check, and it was very fast. It was a very fast conversation. Like they all said the same thing. Like food delivery is hard though. Like I don't know if you can crack this thing, but like if you say you want to do something, then like there's like they are 100% sure that like I'm going to put my mind to it. Like once I'm determined on something, like they know that like I would like do whatever I need to make it happen. Yeah. That was Ezra's speech literally. And like he's not investing because he believes I'm going to do the food delivery, but like he has seen me work in Paystack. He has seen me like doing a bunch of miracles, and he knew that like this like if I said I wanted to do something and I felt this strongly about it, then like most likely there's something there.
So what then happened in January 2022?
Yeah, so January 2022 so from when I got this money in October 2021 to January 2022, we're just pushing the product small. A lot of Paystack people like just believed in the product. A lot of them like were using it, and then one day somebody tweeted that like the orders for food on Chowdeck, and like Chowdeck is so blazing fast, something like that, and he got his food in like was it not 17 or 18 minutes, and the tweet went viral. Something like Juju Tech or something. Yeah. And that tweet went viral. People started like downloading our app. A restaurant that we used to use, one of our biggest restaurants now, King Lab in Yaba, also made the tweet that like, oh, all his customers.
They obviously have a customer.
Yeah. So he made the tweet that like his customers should not buzz him again, and they should start using Chowdeck to order for food. And then that just dramatically increased our numbers. And I was like, only one business is giving me this volume. Then if I focus on this thing fully, like it's going to like be very, very huge. That was January of 2022, and I resigned Paystack February 2022. Like, yeah, guys, I'm done. Yeah. And again, even before then, like I said, most of us had been doing it like part time. Like there was me, there was Olumide from Paystack, there was Tomilola too, because Tomilola was my neighbor. And then like
she saved your life.
Yeah. And even Tomilola's story is even funny because like Tomilola I did not even believe I don't know I was going to work with Tomilola like in Chowdeck, but she was always like testing Chowdeck. Like she just carried it on her head. Do you get? And I was like, why do you people believe me so much like this? Like I don't have sense like this. Like why you? But like that was how everybody like just came on board. Like Tomilola, Kennedy, Damien, everyone was just pushing Chowdeck like as if it was their own. And then we just became like, yeah, this is our thing. Like we have to make this thing work. There was just that anger. I don't know where it came from, but there was like that zeal, like this thing has to blow. Cause like we had the collective frustration with food delivery in Nigeria, and it was that energy that we're using to push like Chowdeck in the end of the year. So January was when I knew that like, yeah. This is going to be a very big thing. I need to pay attention to it. Applying Chowdeck to YC, we got in like on the first like application, which was apparently I found out was very, very rare. Like we wouldn't usually get into YC like on the first like try. We applied to YC in March. We did video everything. We sent it. We didn't hear from YC until like May, and I think that took a long time. We kept waiting that like because again, if we didn't get into YC, in retrospect, I think if we didn't get to YC when we get into YC, Chowdeck would have been dead. Like
Why?
Because the things we learned at YC, the things YC taught us, like we would never have, I don't think, because this entrepreneurship journey, you're constantly in a battle between like how much you have left in your account and like how much you should be growing. So you're always like in that battle, like, oh shit, this is what I have left. Like I need to raise more money. I need to do those things. Yeah. So YC just taught us how to run a very efficient business, because before YC, we used to do a lot of I don't know, capital intensive things. Like I don't know, maybe it sounds stupid now, but then Lanre and I were of the opinion that like that we had to always buy delivery bikes. So each time we wanted to scale, we would go and buy 10 new bikes. So like the first bike we'll go to Oyinbo. Like then after a while I left Lanre to be going to Oyinbo by himself. But like we'll go and buy like 10 bikes in Oyinbo every time we wanted to scale. So and a rider can do like an average, like highest maybe like average of $12-13 a day. The good ones will do like maybe like 20-25 or even 30. But if an rider is doing $12-13 every day, each time we did to scale and we got 10 new bikes, it's just 120 new orders that we can process that this thing here. And that felt very like in retrospect, like I was like, how did I even expect to grow this business with that kind of like thought? But that was what we're doing, right? We even before we go into YC, and then we go into YC, we showed YC the products, we showed YC the numbers. Like YC was also very impressed that like we're Paystack like guys, and we were also executing really fast. Like if there was something that I wanted to do, like we would try it almost immediately. Like no one is resting until like there's that like let's just do it and see how it goes here. And that was how we applied to YC. So we went to Ghana, and then midway our journey into Ghana, like YC mails us that like you have an interview in the next 2 days. Like these are the things to prepare for the interview, blah blah blah. And then I sent it to Lanre, and I was like, YC, stop building. Let's start preparing for interview. And you will do the normal things, like you talk to people who have gone to YC before. They will groom you, they will train you, they will act like YC, they will ask you questions, they will tell you a lot of things. They're like, YC, the interview is 10 minutes. Whatever you want to say it fast. So I just got into the interview. And then we had already planned how we were going to do it, like 3 different people, like answering different questions. We had our script already. And then the interview was actually less than 10 minutes. Like, and I was like, because I was wondering how you interview somebody in 10 minutes and know what you want to do. But like in like 7 minutes, they had like finished the interview. Did you have any questions? No. And then the interview ended. And then YC, the way YC does is that like they will try to call you. They will call you if you get in, and then they will mail you if you don't get in. So we had waited all night. Lanre was in Nigeria, Olumide and I were in Ghana. Yeah, so we had waited all night waiting for, but you know, time zone thing. So we're just waiting for like the call, like or the email or whatever. So we got the email. And the email, I was like, maybe I saw the email from myself. I was like, Olumide, God, we are dead. So we're already like mourning, basically. They're like, this thing. And then we just opened the mail, and the mail was like, congratulations, you have gotten into YC. Like, when can we have a call? Bro, because Olumide and I were in the same room. Like, we hugged that night. we were, because guys were downstairs playing game, also waiting for, that's the engineers. Yeah. They're also waiting for the YC news. So they were just playing game while they were time. And then we just went downstairs. So I said, we got it. Everyone was just jumping, celebrating. It was a moment, Sha. It was a proper moment. I think he shipped like Chowdeck like significantly.
What else can you tell me about like rider operations and even just the operational side of the business?
Yeah, I guess Lanre and Tobi will talk a lot more about it.
My lead operation, I had to like review like key metrics, performances for the previous day, delivery time, and see what we didn't do well the previous day and how we can improve on the next day. And throughout, like thinking like managing the entire fleet of our riders, and making sure that everybody is doing what we're doing. In the art of the operations, I have Tobi particularly who manages who lead the rider operations. Technically, you just make sure that riders have what they need to work, and they're also doing what they're meant to do. Then I stay in constant communication throughout the day with the entire team, making sure that riders are doing what they should do and are well equipped.
Rider operations involves like everything that we need to do to ensure that an order is delivered in time. Like when an order comes in, from assigning a rider to deliver that order, to ensuring the rider gets to the restaurant in time, to making sure that the restaurant attends to the rider like early enough, to making sure that the rider packages the order properly, right? To also ensuring the rider delivers with happiness. Like we say at Chowdeck. On the back end, this involves like a lot of phone calls, automation as well, right? So there are different prompts that we have that signal when an order might be delayed, right? So for example, if the restaurant doesn't accept the order on time, right? So a customer places an order, the restaurant has to accept the order, let us know how long it will take to prepare the order. But if that is taking some time, then we already know that this order will potentially be delayed And then like Tomi does like several things at Chowdeck. Apart from like leading people, she's also our leader of customer success. So Tomi's team comes in to like proactively reach out to the customer to apologize to them that there might be a potential delay with the order.
A lot of customer experience interfaces with operations because the experience that the customer has is the experience that operations gives them. If the rider takes too long to pick up a meal, or the rider takes too long on the road, or the rider doesn't get to the restaurant on time, the customer comes to support to say what's going on, my order is not moving. So we have to like constantly communicate with the operations team, what's going on with this order, where is this order, and we also have like automations that have been set up that lets the support team know when something isn't going as like it should on the operations side, so we're able to like just stay in sync. Because you know, if we work in silos and we don't know what's going on their end, it's going to affect the experience that we are giving to customers. You know, we don't want to lie. So. Yeah, so I just try to like get the source of truth from them and you know give it.
We work with everybody in the company. I mean, it's a very close-knit, you know, company. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's always willing to help you. My job is to bring in businesses and bring in partners, and those partners help our business run. And it's all moving parts. There's so many moving parts to it. You know, there's a rider operations team, there's a rider associates team, there's a support team. If anything goes wrong with the restaurant, you brought them on board. You're the first person they're going to go and meet and tell you, hey, these guys are not picking our call, or hey, these guys are delaying our orders, or there's a customer complaint everywhere. So I work closely with everybody, down from the marketing team, because obviously when you sign up a new restaurant, you have to like launch, you have to announce them. There's a lot of publicity and marketing there. So I work closely with the head of marketing, Amaka. I also work very closely with the support team as well, because when the restaurant finally comes on board and there's any issue, they will always reach out to you. Customer complaints, there's a restaurant operations team headed by Adiola. So whenever she has any issues with the restaurants, she also reach out to you. Of course, I have people on my team as well who we work with. I work very closely with the operations team as well, the rider operations team, because the restaurants always tell you, oh, where's the rider that's coming to come and pick up this food? Oh, the rider is not here yet, etc, etc. And I have to now reach out to Tobi or reach out to Lanre and say, hey, there's a rider delaying these people, we need to get them on board. But I work very closely with everybody across the teams, and everybody's always willing to help you.
For the beginning, we believe that to build the business, we need to get help from the riders. I mean, it's all about the riders. Like, you have to know what they are feeling on the road before you actually you are able to fix the problem for them. The leaders have sync with the riders. Then we sync with the leaders to understand what the problem is on the field.
We have seen different behaviors across different markets, like different user behavior. Some markets, some people just like local food, like amala, like these things. Some markets they like pizza, they like all of those things. Yeah. But when we launch a new location, we always try to figure out what makes the people in this location tick, and that's why we always ask questions like, what do you want? Because that question, as simple as it is, a lot of people don't ask that question. Yeah. So when we go to the location, we just ask you that, please, what do you want in this location? What restaurants do you want? What behavior do you want? And it just helps us shape. Like when we launched in Yaba, for instance, if you in Ikeja, people order for pizza a lot. People order for atishafe, rice, beans. But in Yaba, spaghetti, everyone literally orders for spaghetti in Yaba. Yeah. So if I had carried the Ikeja behavior to Yaba, we probably would not have gotten to the right customers. But in Yaba, every 2 or 3 kilometers, you see a spaghetti vendor. So you're okay. And initially, I used to have a problem with it. Why do we have so many spaghetti vendors? But bro, people spaghetti actually has different taste for different people. Sometimes somebody wants to eat the spaghetti, and but I think it's just different.
So just really learning what every market.
Yeah, and that's what the city leads do.
So we have a different approach to how we onboard partners. For every market that we go into, we first of all identify market leaders, the kind of restaurants that people love in those areas, because every market has a different kind of taste and what people love in those markets. So first of all, try to put a lot of human efforts, try to understand what people love. So we talk to friends, we talk to people online, we put out surveys, what's your favorite restaurant in this city, when we ask people. And also on our own end, we know the kind of businesses that we want to have on board. So we put that together alongside feedback that we get from people. And then we create a list, and then we go out into the market and then talk to those businesses and get them on board.
Tell me the easiest and the hardest partners that you've used so far.
Easiest, the hardest, I'll start with the hardest one. The hardest one was Chicken Republic. The easiest one would be ShopRite. So for Chicken Republic, it took a year. like I said. I think the hardest part about it was that we kept knocking on the door. They had multiple partners at the time. I mean, Chicken Republic is a very well-known QSR brand. They're the largest QSR brand in Nigeria, if not in Africa. And it took a whole lot for us to get them on board because they were major partners with likes of Jumia. They were with Glover at the time as well. They were working with multiple aggregators, and they didn't want to onboard new aggregators at the time. But being a new player in the market, it took a lot for them to, wait for people to trust the brand. They saw what we are doing out there. We kept knocking on the door. We kept asking, oh, when can we come on board? They'll say, oh, not now, come again later. Femi became friends with literally everybody in the company. We kept on knocking on the door. And that process took a whole year before they could get us on board, largely because they had other people who were providing that service to them. For ShopRite is a very innovative company. We pitched what we wanted to do with them. They're a grocery company looking to expand and get into the digital space because they know that traditional selling isn't the only way to get. There's a new market out there online, and they needed to tap into it. So when we came up with the idea on how we wanted to help them leverage that market and grow into selling online, they were very happy with it. So we met with the strategy manager, who introduced us to other people within the company. We had a meeting. They saw the vision that we had for the brand and how we wanted to position them as our flagship brand for grocery across the nation. And they bought into it, and it moved really fast. After a week, they gave us a response that we wanted to hear, outlined what we wanted to do. A week later, we signed agreements, and yeah, we're live.
What has been the biggest shocker for you running this business?
I think it's just how people evolve. That's the summary. Again, most of us are doing it for the first time, and seeing how people have evolved in their different roles, from what they used to do before and what they are doing now, and how excellently they are doing it now, and how there's so much, because in Chowdeck, most people don't have an ego problem. When I mean an ego problem, everyone is so eager to fail fast because they want to, they want to be the first to to be the best at what they're doing. So there's just so much energy. Okay, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this thing? There's just, and when I see how much, maybe competition is not the word, but how much people how much people are very fast to want to get feedback on their work, how they want to do get to 5 years of work in 1 year. yeah it's just late nights, just putting so much energy. I think it's just how people have evolved, and this is not just for because we have 3 classes of employees. We have core employees, we have operational employees,
and then core operational,
and then contract employees.
How so? Your core employees are
engineers, designers. Then operational employees are those that work with restaurants, restaurant associates, rider associates, like that. And all through the different parts of the company, down to even the riders, some of them, most of them actually are riding knowing that one day they will become an operations associate. So there's just so much energy, so much I think it's just how people have evolved here. Because I know the guy that leads our so Tobi leads rider operations. There's a guy that leads rider associates. He used to be a rider before. Before rider, he used to be a security man. Yeah, so security man to rider, and then he rode. He was the king of the road. You get it was the guy that you called when a celebrity is ordering, and then I don't know. It's just the guy that you call when you want something you want the delivery to happen as it should, yeah. And then he became a rider associate, and then he's now the one leading the associates. So it's also it takes
so they see a character. They have a whole character trajectory.
Yeah, and he has a winning mindset. He's obsessed about winning. He's obsessed about because he understands, and that's why I like having people that know what they do, lead things, because he understands how what it means to do quality work, deliver quality meals. He applies that same energy to his associates. And when I see him talking to them, I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's just how people have evolved. I think it's very surprising because when you see people on Twitter or Instagram or the leaders of the company, honestly, they're not as it's their first time basically. Yeah.
The first thing we did is just what do we care about? What matters to us the most? And that's how we arrived at the things that we chose as our core values, which is clear communication, hustle, innovation, transparency, insisting on excellence, taking ownership, empathy, growth and learning. Those things are the things that really matter to us. If you think about empathy, when Chowdeck was created, empathy is not even just a core value. When Chowdeck was created, right, we were thinking how can we give the delightful experience that Femi had in Dubai to customers in Nigeria, right? And on the customer success front, it literally means that like we have to ensure that at every step of the way, like every step of the order, a customer is having like a great experience with Chowdeck. They don't have like cause to be like, oh, what is this? Like, why am I in this situation? You get. So just like creating that delightful experience for customers, giving them the experience that you want to have as a person, right? Same thing with like taking ownership. I'm sure you'll see like a lot of Chowdeck employees just being out and proud about their work because they truly believe that like it's my own, like I own it. In fact, on social media, there are times when people post about Chowdeck and you see like a random comment saying, yes, we are so great, and it's a rider. But I'm like, I don't know this person. Like, yeah, and you realize that like it's a rider because even down to the riders, they are encouraged to take ownership of every step of the order process. If you're there when the restaurant is packing an order and you see that like, oh, the order has 2 chickens and the restaurant put only 1, like they are there to be like, no, this order has 2 chickens, you have to add the second one. Like, so just that ownership from every angle. Yeah, even the restaurants, they've taken like that, ownership spirit to ensure that like, yeah, when an order comes in, we're accepting it on time, we're giving it to the rider on time. If there's an issue with an order, like we're responding quickly so that the customer support team can fix the issue. Down to like innovation, we go out to like Twitter and ask people, what do you want us to build? What do you want to see on the Chowdeck app? And we actually build it like in a matter of days because we're listening to customers. We want to know like what they want to see, and we also want to stay ahead of the curve. Like we don't want to become like old cargo, like, oh, we've done this thing, so that's all that needs to be done. No, we want to like just continue innovating, seeing how we can make things better. I think like just all around, everything that we do is geared towards like operating on the level of the things that matter the most to us, and most especially like insisting on excellence. Like every single thing that we're doing at Chowdeck is like we want to produce the highest quality that's possible, right? So you can't be in Chowdeck and settle for low quality work because everybody around you is constantly demanding excellence from you. Like that is not just like, that's why the core value is not just excellence, like insist on excellence. So even when you see low quality work, you insist like on getting better quality from that person. And I think that has just shaped how everybody in the Chowdeck network thinks about problems and their solutions. Yeah.
There are so many different things that have shocked me about this business. The scale has actually shocked me a lot. I used to think many of these restaurants like already handle a lot of volume every day, but then the day that we go from, I don't know, 1,000 to 5,000 orders, you see that the restaurants just like, I don't know, struggle to handle the volume. Many times I've had to close like restaurants for some hours just to be able to handle the orders that we have already accepted. So yeah, like that scale is something that's actually like shocked me. Yeah, and everything that comes with the scale, right? Like we pray for more orders, but then when the orders actually come, I'm like, wait, please close the app. Please just close the app. Because like there are so many different things that happen like when we have a lot of orders, right? Typically, let's say we need one rider to deliver 10 orders in a day, right? You say if you have 10,000 riders or 1,000 riders, you can handle, that's 10,000 orders, right, in a day. But you don't think about, some of the things that we don't think about or that we might not think about well enough is, in a day, we might deliver 10,000 orders, but 5,000 of those orders can come in 2 hours. And then how do you like handle that peak period volume? So like just different solutions that we have been trying to implement has helped us. But yeah, scale is, I think that's what has shocked me the most about this business.
Yeah, I think everything has been a shock to me, honestly. I would say like 98% of the assumptions I had about like Chowdeck and this industry as a whole were proved wrong, like maybe my first week. Yeah, because they're just things that you can't predict. Like how do you explain that a customer ordered food but then they switched off their phone and you can't reach them and you're calling them for 2 hours, they're not picking up, but then they come the next day and say, refund my money. Like we've paid the vendor for the food, we've collected the food, the vendor is not going to take that food back, right? And this customer is like, yeah, return my, like, at the first time this happened, I was like, huh? Like, because me, I would feel like I know that I messed up. So I'm not going to like be like, Chowdeck has refused to refund my money. I'm never going to use this app again. Like all of you that work in Chowdeck, your company will burn. Like, and it's just crazy to me. Like you don't expect it. Even down to like how people like I've worked in payments before, and I thought that payments is like probably one of the hardest industries to work in Nigeria, especially in customer experience, because I'm thinking like Nigerians are not patient when it comes to like money. Like, what's my money? Try Nigerians and their stomach. Like, try Nigerians and their stomach. That's when you realize that like, I don't know, maybe they rate their stomach higher than money. Because, yeah. So I think like a lot of things just really came as a shock to me working at Chowdeck. There are things like assumptions that I've made in the past, like, oh, this is when people order food the most, or like all those things were just proven wrong when I actually started working at Chowdeck. Yeah, but I mean that's one of the things that makes it exciting. Every single day is something new, something different, something I've not seen before. So yeah.
In the early days, when I was still very involved in like filling riders, what we tell them is we believe that riders should not be working for us, rather than working with us. So they're actually like part of the Chowdeck, like the big family of Chowdeck. Values we imbibe in our core staff, the same thing we imbibe in all our riders. They know for a fact that, oh, Chowdeck is trying to take over the business, like Nigeria as a whole, and they know what to do, need to do. There's also like incentives for this. I mean, we like money. there's incentive for like doing this, but I think it goes more than the incentive, because if you are trying to drive when it's raining, then you understand that there's no amount of money that will make you like drive in this rain, because there are times that it's raining that even you that you are driving your car, you might have to park. But if you see these guys driving inside the rain, you wonder what we give them. So really, I think it's truly like them believing in the business and doing their best to make sure that the business doesn't like have a pause.
I'm most proud of the professionalism of our riders, right? And before I joined Chowdeck, I was always curious about like how did Chowdeck get like riders to be as professional as they are? Like, how do they at the time get them to dress like so neatly, like smile to customers and like hand off the package? Like the entire experience of like ordering from Chowdeck was just always great. And till today, like my biggest worry when I first joined is like, now that I'm at the helm, technically, like, will I be able to ensure that this kind of culture like continues, right? And thankfully, we have still been able to maintain that to some point. And yeah, that's what I'm most proud of. There are even times that riders inform us of like very difficult conversations that they had with some like unkind customers, and the way they handle it, like it just makes me very proud.
My name is Bernard now. I was a Chowdeck rider before, but now rider associate.
What did you do that made them promote you?
I was a rider that anytime they call me, I will be there when they call me. So I like the work and always be there for them for the work.
My name is Peter Ohiolebo. I'm a rider at Chowdeck. I started very early this year, I think around April or so. We are all riding. We have over 1,000 riders here, and as of now, I'm able to say yes. I think I'm understanding the system and it's working for me.
Can you tell me how much you earn?
Well, here we do it weekly. Every week I cash out close to 100 or 100 above sometimes. I've never earned this much before.
Every week.
Every week, 115.
Every week.
So before you became rider associate, you were doing 150K every week.
Every week. So
You're a big man.
So like now, if I stop working with Chowdeck, I will not do any company work again. I will find something on my own.
So you're saving up.
Yeah.
So now I can begin to plan my life. As a rider for Chowdeck, the favorite experience I would say, in terms of payment, when you are working, you already know what you are making. And they paid every Monday before you blink your eyes as you woke up in the morning, you already, you have access to your money already. So there is no, boss, how far? My money never dropped. Those kinds, there at all.
I remember when Irada needed like an urgent fund for his wife. His wife was pregnant. She was about to deliver and needed CS. So I think he needed about 250K or thereabouts. So he was confused, didn't know what to go to. And he just dropped a message on Slack on mentioned that that boss he needed money for his wife, blah blah blah. And I mean immediately just they approved, and he got the fund instantly. I mean I would say that's memory because like these guys they work so hard, they work really hard. So getting funds to solve this problem in their life shouldn't be a problem for them. So like just knowing that Chowdeck was there for him, that's what makes it like a very day for me. And up till now is like he's grateful that happened. Yeah, you can say that.
I like everything from Chowdeck because they both always be with us like brother and brother. They always play with us like we are at the same stage. So I like everything in Chowdeck. Not even the money itself, but the way they take us to.
Chowdeck 5 years time, I think about like the one app you have on your phone that you can get anything from. And when I get anything from, today we do just food delivery, but now I know that like I'm building like a proper logistics engine that would like power a lot of businesses, which includes restaurants, groceries, pharmacies, like basically convenience. Like now we just signed ShopRite. ShopRite has like over 11,000 like items in there. You can buy TV on ShopRite. You can buy on this on anything you want to buy. You can buy it literally on ShopRite. Everything exists on ShopRite. So like I think that like in over the next 5 years, Chowdeck will be that company in Africa that like you can literally go to and find anything you want. I mean, there are some wider ideas that we have internally, but like definitely like as we begin to like grow and evolve, you see a lot of these ideas come to reality. Yeah.
For the last couple of hours, we've been at Chowdeck office speaking to a lot of the leadership team, but also like if you riders to learn about the impact. If you haven't downloaded Chowdeck and you're in Nigeria, you definitely should. They're still Africa's leading food delivery, grocery and pharmaceutical. So it's not just food, it's groceries, it's medicine, anything that you want. This has been such an inspiring story, especially just seeing how young the team is and how insistent they are on excellence and just committed to doing the work, and just seeing the amount of growth they've had in a short time. I'm very inspired. I hope you are too. Please, this is Founders Connect. Make sure that you don't leave this channel without subscribing, comment, share the video, but also make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Mr. Timmy, as usual, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.